what's going on, guys? MA76 B-Ball. I'm back at it again with another video for you, and I'm super stoked to do this one, guys. This one's been quite a while in the making. We're going to do a little bit of a performance review on the Q4 Sports 495 Low. Now, the reason why this took so long was initially, quite some time ago, they sent out a red pair, and I started wear testing that one. And there were two issues with that shoe, so I held up and I continued testing the Millennium. So I communicated with them and I emailed them, and you know, they're pretty committed to making sure everyone has a great experience. So eventually they sent out a replacement pair. So then once I got them in hand, I continued with the testing. So now I'm finished, and I'll give you the breakdown, okay? Now, to be specific, for this performance review on this shoe, on this one right here, this black model, it was only 10 hours, which is, in my eyes, that's not enough for a full performance review. Now, the only reason I did 10 hours is because the first red pair, I probably put about 6 to 8 hours on that pair until a couple of issues popped up. So, you know, I remember quite clearly the attributes of that shoe, the experience of that shoe, and then I piled it on top of this one. I believe, you know, that's more than enough, you know, running time to give you guys an authentic feedback. So that's enough of that. Let's get into this pair, okay? So like I said, it was 10 pairs for this, 10 hours for this one here. 2 hours outdoors, 4 hours on a dusty court, and 4 hours on a pristine court. Okay, that was the usage there. So, as usual, with the traction here. So, the pattern that we have here on the forefoot, you've got herringbone, which is always nice to see on shoes these days. It's pretty rare, not very common. And they have 4 flex grooves, which are, you know, they definitely work. It's very, I'm not using any strength right here. It's very flexible in the forefoot, so that's great. And then towards the heel, they have kind of like just these pods or circles with herringbone, which definitely, I wish the entire thing was herringbone. But honestly, when I was playing on the clean court, by all means, it was not a factor. In the middle here, you have a TPU shank, and we'll get to that later for support. So the, you know, when I pulled them out of the box initially, you know, to hand, the feel in your hand is very tacky, very sticky, and I was like, okay, my expectations were somewhat up there, and it performed exceedingly well on clean courts. Like, they were squeaking, they were biting, no problem. I felt totally confident on the clean courts. Now, when it came to the dusty courts, I wouldn't say the grooves are all that deep. They're average, you know. So on the dusty court, I saw myself wiping. It could be anywhere between 2 and 4 plays I had to wipe. Now that dusty court, whew, that court was dusty. So I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed at all. It held its own against that court. And I have other shoes in my collection that, you know, perform very similar in terms of the number of wipes and how frequently I have to wipe. So yeah, and then on the outdoor court, the great thing about the Q4 shoes, the compound is very durable. So they feel like, a lot of times in my Millennium review, I mentioned that it had like that 90s feel. Well, that also goes for the outsole. It has that 90s feel where you could take your shoes indoors and outdoors. Like, I'm talking about the same pair, you know, indoors and outdoors. So I think it would be a viable option actually for outdoor ball. Okay, so that's that for the traction. Definitely did its job on the clean courts, and it held up as best as it could on the dusty courts, and no issues at all on the outdoor courts. So next up, we've got the cushioning. The cushioning is called compress cushioning. Now, on the let me just grab it right here. On the Q4 Sports Millennium, this was one of the standout features for me, was the cushioning. It was amazing, and that's why I had somewhat of an issue, or that was one of the issues with the original 495 Low, the red pair. It was dead underneath the ball of my foot. Like, I'm not sure what was going on, but that was definitely one of the things that maybe just in the process of being manufactured, something happened to the foam. So that was one of the reasons it didn't work out so well. But here on this pair, I believe this is how it should be. Now, it's definitely a clear improvement over the original red pair that I had. You could feel the cushioning, obviously more so in the heel than the forefoot. You are kind of somewhat looking at a guard shoe, but you know, these days everybody wears lows. So they definitely, I feel, they were focused on low to the ground, court feel, direct energy transfer. You know, I think that was the focus. So for me, I've mentioned in other reviews, I do like cushioning front and back, and I do like ample cushioning underneath the ball of my foot. So this was very, very, very close. It was comfortable. Like I could wear them I could ball in them for 2 hours, no problem. But I do wish there was a little bit more up front. And then we all know, as usual, the trade-off is you get great court feel and, you know, energy transfer. And in the heel section, no problem whatsoever. So Q4 Sports and their compress cushioning, I feel definitely on point. Now let's get into the fit. Now, before I get into fit, just if you're new to the channel, I'm a very, very skinny guy. I'm 5'7", and right now I'm 140 pounds. I'm really skinny. I've got a skinny foot, low volume foot. Now the great thing is, like, when I get a new shoe, I'm just like, oh boy, is it gonna fit me? That is if I've ordered online, of course, right? You know what I mean? You don't try them on in the store. And once I slipped my foot into this, also with the red pair, you know, months ago, heel area and midfoot were just outstanding. Just great, great fit, great lockdown. Now it does get roomy in the toe box area. However, I should say actually roomy for me, right? Because I've got these skinny feet. I'm pretty sure probably anybody with a regular foot or a wide foot will love the fit of this shoe. So if you've got a skinny foot, I'd probably go half size down. That's what I did. I went half size down in this. And in average and wide feet, I think true to size. So the issue that I had with the toe box is, yeah, it was roomy, a little too roomy. However, it did not hinder performance. My foot was not like sliding around or anything like that. Just liked a little bit, you know, a little bit of closer fit to in the toe area. Next up, let's talk about stability, support. You know, no frills, no gimmicks. It's just a flat base, and it does flare out considerably here. So I feel very stable, very solid, very confident on my forefoot. And then you've got a great external heel counter here. It does its job, and yeah, it's not anything that I thought about while I was playing. It wasn't in the back of my mind or anything like that. It was definitely a shoe I just laced up and hey, I could just play. But yeah, the lacing system, I think it's a great thing too. That's one thing I like to point out about this shoe. The lacing system, you have, you know, traditional eyelets to go in and out, and then you have internal eyelets, and the combination of both really do a fantastic job of just whoop, bringing in that upper. And that's like, you know, it's a great thing, because I'm saying that as a person with a low volume foot, I could get great lockdown through the lacing system, even though I've got a skinny foot. So yeah guys, so it was a great experience playing in this shoe. I do wish they had a little bit more up front, but taking into consideration the model that it is, you know, I can understand why they did that. Whereas in the Millennium, the red shoe that I showed you earlier, like that one's just beast. That's a crazy cushioning back and forth. So would I recommend the shoe? Yeah, I definitely recommend the shoe. It is a fantastic price point. I believe it's $110 US. It's a great price point, very competitive with other models out there. So, you know, they're up and coming brand. You know, drop by the website, check them out, and that's it guys, okay? That's my performance review on the Q4 Sports 495 Low. If you have any questions, just drop them down below. I'll try to answer them, or, you know, just drop by their website. I'm sure you'll find all sorts of information out there. Thank you for dropping by the channel, guys. If any of you are new, hello to you guys, and thank you for watching. And I'll be actually uploading another video quite soon, okay guys? Take care, and all of my best to you, and we'll catch you on the next one, alright? Peace!